Welcome back to the Aces ROG Dream League live from the Monster DreamHack Studios. We're back here on the desk, and actually we have some new faces. Well, one new face. That's actually not really new, because we already saw him on the couch, but he basically switched locations. Yay!
It was an arduous journey, but I made it.
Yeah,
Luckily, I didn't have to walk on my hands.
Andy's face has never been new. Never.
Wow.
It was born stony and old.
I think the words that I used for you yesterday were glowing, and you look great, and this is what he does to me.
You
this
asked
is
if
after...
I was pregnant, actually.
Wow.
That was, yeah. Are you
well,
pregnant?
I mean, that's like the normal follow-up, right? It's like you're just positively glowing.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
True. That is actually true. I wouldn't take that as an insult, but if I was Andy, I would have taken the other one as an insult.
Okay, well, yeah. I do owe Andy
he got me back.
a big apology. So.
He got you.
I got him back. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we have got, of course, also Luminous Bacterian here as well, and we have one match done. So we have got an updated schedule. It's no longer all zeros. We have got ourselves a victor. It was MVP Phoenix that, of course, won 2 games of their 2 games that they've played. So they will now be on top of the standings.
Here it comes. Look at
Anytime
the lava.
now.
The lava.
It's very fire.
Sparks. There it is.
Oh, it's a schedule instead, which is also okay because...
No, but it has a score.
yeah, it has a score because Virtus Pro is, of course, a team that hasn't won yet. They have 4 games today. Now, losing 1 series, you know, happens. Losing 2 series in one day, it might still be possible for you to make it to the top 2, but it's still like it's probably a really like disheartening feeling, I would assume.
Yeah, especially. I mean, do they have another game this day, or is that the other VP?
That's the other VP.
Okay, so if they don't win this, they go home tonight thinking, "Holy shit, guys, we're bottom of the table. We lost 4 games. We need to come back and do something." So you definitely. However, they have already warmed up playing a series. Alliance just got here, so anything could happen.
True. And actually.
You have a week-long group like this, the most important thing is being consistent. So you could go 0-4 the first day and it'd be fine. Like you just need to.
As long as you are inconsistent about going 0-4. Yeah.
But be consistent about playing well.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Tickets.
Oh yeah, that was good because we actually you can watch here, which is great. Which is I'm assuming you're watching right now on Twitch. But you
or
can
else
also
they can't
watch.
Hear you.
Yeah, I know. It's a good point. Otherwise, you can also watch Inside the Game because there actually is a ticket. Everything of the ticket that you spend, like none of it goes actually to DreamHack. Everything goes to the players and of course Valve.
Where's my 5% from the ticket?
Yeah.
No.
That's contractual.
No.
Really?
Let me just write it down real quick. No.
No, and I don't think like I'm the one to say anything about that. Like I can give you like
You're the host.
50%. Yeah.
You got the power.
Okay.
If you say it, it happens.
I hope so.
Try it.
That's how James
I get
does it.
50%.
Nice.
Hereby done.
so
No, but
greedy.
like I was like seriously, the players are like you. If you buy the ticket, you're supporting the players, and the players deserve their support, your support, because, well,
Yeah, we're actually
They do?
really gracious the fact that, I mean, players are coming here for a full week.
Yeah.
Which is really hard in terms of how busy the schedule is. Players are not streaming, so anything that you could do to improve the prize pool goes to them.
Absolutely.
It does not go to DreamHack or us, unfortunately. So, but the players...
it's all about players.
If it wasn't for the players, we would have nothing to talk about.
That's true.
That is true. With Waga missing from the desk, he's actually hiding somewhere else. So we're going to take a look at the couch, because that is where he is together with Bruno, of course. Hi there.
What's up, Waga?
Hi.
How does it feel? Isn't it like better actually getting your
It's pretty chill to sit here.
your
actually.
bottom in some actually comfortable
It's
place?
comfy. It's a big couch as well to have on.
Yeah, well,
on
we'll have more people. Unfortunately, I was talking to the guys from BP Polo, and they were all playing games right now, and the guys from MVP were actually having lunch.
Yeah.
I offered
well,
coming here with pizza, but they were like not entirely convinced about
eating
it.
on camera is not always, something most people are like, oh yeah.
Some
let's
people
do
pay
it.
for that.
Okay, true. But these guys are professional gamers, so they don't need to.
But didn't you hear what Lam said? Streamers make more money than gamers.
Oh yes.
Like
oh, yes.
10 times more money or something. I don't know.
True.
But anyways, like we're having Alliance versus VP right now, and
Yes.
normally we would talk about a lot of stuff like coming into the game, but that's being so overdone. But the thing,
Okay.
like I have you here in this couch, and you've been playing Dota for quite a while.
11 years. 10
You
years,
are
yeah.
Swedish, I think,
True.
half Danish, but
According to some, it's a matter of definition.
but like guys like Loda and Ake for a long, long time, right?
Well, I haven't really known them that
I mean,
closely.
not as
but
friends, but like, you
I've-
played against them.
I played against them. First time was 2007. So yeah,
Bring me back some memories, like.
okay. I can bring you a memory from like the first time I played against them, right? So my team back then was just classmates, and we were like, "Hey, DreamHack seems fun. Let's just go there."
Right.
Back then, DreamHack. I mean, nobody pretty much made a living out of playing games competitively at that stage. At least not Dota. Dota had a tournament that was going to be pretty big. So I decided that I'll bring my classmates and play. We get there, and there were two really good teams, right? The rest of them were just trash teams. We were one of them.
Of course.
And
No one doubts that.
one team was MYM. The other team was old team Team SK, I believe before they became SK.
Okay.
Which, for those of you who might not know, was Ake and Loda, of course. And they played together with Quam at that time.
Was
I
Drage
believe Drage was still in the team. I'm not completely sure. And we played against them in the loser bracket finals, and they stomped us with Tiny solo mids, which was something completely innovative and new. Tiny on the mid lane, just old times. And it was the first time that I met these guys. And we only lost. I mean, we won every single game except for against MYM and SK, which was decent.
So out of the trash, you were like.
We were the best trash around.
Yeah. How do you call it? Like, do you call it lion's tails and rat's head as well? Is that an expression? Okay, like that's.
I am the man with expression.
No.
Yeah,
That's an
talk to
expression in
Lumi.
Spanish
Lumi's
that you
saying-
say like I'd rather be a lion's tail than a rat's head, which is like it's better to be the worst of the best.
Okay.
Not the best of
okay.
the worst. You were the rat head. You were the best of the
We
worst.
were, we were definitely a best of the worst. Well, it was a lot of fun, Back then, it was just for the experience, to be honest.
And they got better.
Yeah, they definitely got better.
And you,
My classmates, they had never played Dota before, so it was, an achievement getting third place as well.
That's good. Look, like moving 7 years in the future, and you're here. They're there. They're playing.
They are not in Dota competitively, my old mates.
Shout out to Waga's classmates.
Yes.
And with closing story time with Waga right now because we
Yes.
have a game, but we'll be back to some other stories. We're going back to Shiver and the guys with
Yeah.
some Dota 2 action.
The game, of course, that's why we're here. We have got Alliance taking on Virtus Pro. Now, Alliance, a lot of the players actually came in this morning. So 2 hours ago, they came in by train. Hani was here already yesterday evening. Do you think that has an impact on their game?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't get to warm up, it's bad. I mean, anybody who plays Dota knows that if you don't get to sit at a PC for like half an hour, 45 minutes, do a
They did
practice
do that.
game, play your heroes. Oh, they did do that?
Upstairs.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it won't
I
be
think
so
for a
bad
little
then.
bit.
I didn't actually see them, so that explains it, because I went back there and I was like, I think I saw Loda and that was it. And
Yeah.
then I didn't see the rest of them. So it's good that they actually got some warm-up time, because that makes a really big difference.
Yeah, but next to that, they are playing with a roster that is definitely
Isn't
not...
that all the hype? We gotta talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah, kind of we do. So I've been told by Hani that they've actually practiced for 4 days.
Okay.
together as
That's
like
more than
these
some
5
teams have
people.
practiced in the past for any tournament, really.
Did you ask a follow-up question? Like, was this practice successful? Was it not?
They thought they were pretty prepared. It was going okay, but yeah, like you're playing with a new team, so it was like it's taking some getting used to. And I think you can't do that in 4 days. Like I didn't actually ask that, but it seems like wanting to have like the perfect team dynamic and having like.
Actually, though, when new teams form, they have this like the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
True.
Where you just like
Yes.
you don't blame everybody. You just try everything new, and everything works because you just go hard.
I do wonder, you know, if as long as the roles that you're picking people for, I mean, yeah, there might be some miscommunication, but everybody knows, you know, as long as you know, right, I make the calls, and you guys are good players, and these are the roles we're going to play. I mean, it's not going to be like, you're not talking months and months to break it in. I think as long as you pick the right people and you know their game, you could gel pretty quickly. And like you said, honeymoon period, spirits are high, anything can happen, you know. So why the heck not? They've still got Loda, for Christ's sake. I mean, and Aki as well. It's like not exactly a team that's struggling. So,
Yeah.
I mean, at ESL, he was absolutely off the hook, MVP by a mile. So
Yeah, he definitely was. The one concern that I have is when you basically lose, not necessarily your only in-game leader, but you lose somebody who does a lot of the shot calling, that can also be a little bit traumatic to the team in the sense of how well you guys actually decision make in-game. So that would be one of the biggest concerns for me. I know Ake and Loda both have draft experience, so I don't really think that's going to affect them too much. I think it's just going to be about like who's making the calls in game, if they can communicate like what they need to do.
Who do you
at
think
the
it's going to be?
point in the game. I don't know, honestly. I think probably support position is the easiest to do it from. So I would assume probably Ake. I mean, he's one of the most experienced support players that we have, pretty much. So
I only recently found out just how many games it is that he can play incredibly well. And
oh yeah, he's good at every game.
It's
basically.
insane. Yeah, I was talking to Scriff about it actually. It's like not just Dota, but like Smash and pretty much any Nintendo
He's like
game.
Nintendo champion,
He
right?
was the Swedish
World
Nintendo champion, isn't that right?
Yeah, world champion or
Crazy.
just Swedish?
I
Who
don't.
knows?
I think that
Either way, it's still impressive.
It's the same thing essentially.
it was Swedish champion. I
think it's the same thing as being world champion. It's like saying you're the best footballer in Brazil. It's like, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Sweden
That
is
is
very
true.
accepting of digital sports.
Yep.
This is true. So, but Loda is sitting in the middle. So I'm actually thinking he's calling the shots.
Well, they're on voice comms, right?
He always
does
sits
it,
True.
Does it really matter where they're sitting?
No, but I think I have some. Like, I think that would like It was early this morning. Like, I wasn't entirely awake, but I think that was what Hani said.
Ah, okay.
That Loda is like the captain. And I'm not sure if that goes for drafting or just like only the drafting and in-game is by someone else. Which, yeah, for a support position, I wouldn't mind that. One of the things that I'm actually curious about is we see them when they play with Admiral Bulldog. They have like rat style. That's what they're known for. We heard March say it afterwards. Like, what do you expect from Lions? Rat. Are they gonna rat without the rat?
That's actually a very good question because Bulldog is one of the players who I think has some of the better map awareness of like any competitive player because of the types of stuff that he does, right? Like his Nature's Prophet, in my opinion, is the best in the world, like bar none. Like he's just the best, and his Batrider is pretty damn good too. So that's actually a fairly good point. I'm not sure if they're going to stick to the same game plan. I know that like Ake and Loda obviously have experience with that as well, but it's like you lost a really good player or don't have him right now.
Yeah. And they're also gonna have maybe different roles.
Yeah, it's going to be something.
I mean, I don't see Ake not playing support and Loda not playing carry.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
think
but-
Hani plays mid, right?
Yeah, I think
Well,
so. Too.
Ace is also there, so you have two capable mid players. So
Yeah.
depending how they feel, maybe Ace is playing off lane.
You can mix it up depending on what you pick or what you
Sure.
can get. So, yeah.
I get that's actually a good one for like being able to switch it up because
That's
it's
how
unpredictable.
MVP Phoenix does it.
Yeah.
Like March played 2 support games last.
That's how
what we
Tinker
just
does it
watched,
as
yeah.
well, switching sometimes roles around in
Sure,
terms of
sure.
off lane and mid. And actually, that's I normally think that's like a pretty big deal because you don't know where a specific hero is going to go. He could go off lane, could go mid.
So let's talk about VP a sec because we're lavishing Alliance with conversation. But what do you think they can do here to turn this around? What did you think they did wrong in those last games?
Waga and I agreed that it was kind of strategical mistakes. Like, sure, you could miss a stun here and there, but that's not really what caused them the game. But I'm more interested to what you think because you were intently watching the game while holding your hand.
Well, yeah, I was the claw. I was just doing this the whole time, basically. But from what I saw in the first game, I would almost say that entire game was almost just lost on that smoke. Like, when you lose your whole team at like 12 minutes into the game.
So that was just an unfortunate turn of events.
Well, it wasn't necessarily unfortunate. To me, it was pretty obvious. Like, you had a Tidehunter attacking a tier 1 tower. Like, even though you're in your woods and you have a couple of people close by, every single hero was gone, right? And then you just get smoked, like, and just die, like, with your whole team. That's very hard to come back from in of itself. In the second game, I would actually say that I liked their draft quite a bit. I don't think VP has any, like, glaring issues with the way that they picked their heroes or anything, but it felt to me like they were kind of on a timer. They put themselves in a position where if they didn't end the game by X amount of time, like Ember Spirit Void just becomes a little bit too hard to play around, more or less. I think that Lycan is really solid against those types of teams in the early game. I even like the Crimson Guard choice on Necrophos because it puts a Band-Aid on a really big like physical damage problem that you have, and plus it's really good against Sleight of Fist and it's good against Void. So I feel like...
Do you think that MVPs pick up like Ogre and Venge of good roaming supports? Do you think that that was the problem? Like once they got those supports, it's like, well, what can VP do here? Because they need to put pressure on, but they really couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, that's why in the second game, that's why they buy things like Crimson Guard. It's a Band-Aid for a problem, and you want to try to fight. And you know that if you go late, you're not really going to have any item progression that's going to trump Avoid Ember Spirit.
Right,
so you have a problem of not being able to engage the way you want and having too many targets that you actually want to prioritize at the same time. So that one, the later the game went, obviously the worse it's just going to be for them, unless they get a really clutch smoke. But MVP were always aggressive, and they had the lanes pushed out consistently, which makes it so anytime you try to smoke aggressively when all the lanes are in, super obvious. It's really hard to come back from that spot.
I thought one of the things, like especially in game one, even before that big team wipe, rather, it wasn't a big team fight, but it was a team wipe. March played Venge, and he had a double damage rune, got a kill on Razor. His next rune was an illusion rune. Started fighting bottom, got a kill there. And in terms of runes, like it seems like MVP had the control over the runes. If not, maybe not the bounty rune, but at least like the active rune, and they use it every single time.
Yeah, they had really good support movement, I would say, throughout both games.
Yeah.
But the most impressive thing to me was, like you said, like March just being able to be exactly where he needed to be all the time. And Venge, I think, is very underrated in like small skirmishes. A 325 damage stun. Some people opt to even max minus armor just because of the right click that it can give you. And being able to get like that kind of impact early, killing a mid as a support gives you almost a whole level at that stage in the game. And I'm fairly certain he was out of experience range of every other person when he got the kill. So just being able to get an early swap, early medallion treads, he was extremely tanky. I think his influence was pretty darn good. So
do you think if those roams hadn't worked from the supports, it would have been could have been a different game?
I think so, yeah. Because when you get ahead with a team that wants to be ahead, then it's a lot harder for the other team to just say, okay, well, we have like a Razor. We want to try to like get some team fights going and things like that. But you really can't at the same time because you had so many good defensive posture plays and things like that. And there's just way too much of a level and a goal advantage early on, I think.
Are we going to see a very different draft from Virtus Pro, you think? I mean, they had like two very different drafts in the first two games. Like one very defensive, the other one very like kind of standard with the Lycan and the Jakiro.
They wanted to end the game by 25 minutes in game two, at least in my opinion. So I think it's just whatever you feel like is good against your opponents, more or less. Like it's going to be hard though against Alliance because since they're using a couple of people who aren't really like, they're new to the team, basically. So we don't know what style they're bringing. You mentioned a really good point with the Rat. Are they still going to play a style like that? It's yet to be seen. So they just kind of have to be in the draft and just go with it like pick by pick. I think 6.82 is a patch where there's a lot of back and forth. So a lot more things are easy to use now. Like teams that normally, you see Spectre in pubs a lot now because of the comeback mechanic. It's just like, oh, one haunt, all of a sudden 3,000 gold, stuff like that. So just whatever you feel is good for any particular game.
Yeah, in case people are wondering what we're waiting for, it's actually Alliance having some sound issues. So we have to wait until that's sorted before we can start the game. And that actually brings me back to what we said earlier. Communication, honeymoon period. Is it so that in a honeymoon period of a team, is the communication just better because they know like this is like new team? Like would you say like that could be the factor why the honeymoon
they're
period
listening
is
extra?
Yeah, they're extra, like trying extra. Don't get complacent because they know it's a new team having extra pressure.
I think that's a question for the players when we do interviews later. That would be a question. There you go.
Bruno, take notes.
Yeah. He's writing it down on his hand with a pretend
Actually, I
pen.
have his pen, so...
Give him an actual pen. Don't just sarcastic writing it down on your hand. Oh, good catch. Okay.
Good throw. Thanks.
Good throw. Yeah, fine throw.
So what are your predictions, Bruno Waga, for the game?
It's really hard to say. Hopefully people are listening to me. Yeah, they are. It's really hard to say what ask about honeymoon.
Yeah, you need to write down the whole thing.
There you go. It's there. It's really hard to say because you've never seen Alliance in this shape. Like it's a combination of players that haven't been around. But I still think that due to the power of their personal skill, they can take one game. But VP, even though they didn't do too well versus MVP, if you look at other competitions, they're actually not doing that bad at all. I think they're second in the captain's draft for XMG.
Yeah.
And in general, like even in the Dream League, they didn't do too well. They were just like tied for second place. I think, or no, just 1 game below the second place in 9 games. So I think VP, just for virtue of being playing together, understanding the game, can take 1 game. So it's going to be a 1-1.
It's a little bit of a hit or miss, I feel, when you have a new team like this. Because, I mean, obviously for us to predict how it's going to go, when you have never seen them play together before, is like, well, can go either way, right? Like 3 of the players have not been on this team before. So it's a hit or miss, but it can work out beautifully, as you guys say. In the beginning of a team being created, if their practice has paid off a little bit, you can surprise a lot of people because you have not played against them.
Yeah.
So you don't really know what you want to bring to the table and how you actually work together. And also, as you guys were mentioning about trying that extra little bit harder, I think it's definitely true in the beginning of a team. You can see it on most teams, really, when they are created, that at first they play really well, then they dip, and then can they maybe come back, is the question. But here, it's not really a matter whether they can come back. It's just the start, really.
I call that the Sing Sing dilemma. It's like Sing Sing starts a new team, and the team, like even the Cupid Red Pandas, like the first tournament you play, the SK tournament, you won.
Yes.
And then it's like it goes on, and then sometimes
I don't know if you can say that was like Sing Sing.
I know, but it happened like it happened to him. It happened
it
in
happens
C9.
to him.
It happens to him a lot,
Yeah.
which is really unfortunate. But I don't think it's him either. I like to call him the Sing Sing dilemma. It's a good thing, catchy. Also, it's I want to add, it's actually really important, these games, because like it's easy to overlook these first games as, well, you have time to come back later if the first games are not doing so great for you. But let's remember that most of the Team Tinker, C9, and EG games are played last, because these are the teams that are coming slightly later into the competition.
And those are strong teams.
And those are the strong teams, like for many the favorites here. So any victory that you can take from teams like VP, MVP, Alliance, which is like not at the strongest right now, really matters the most, because then you go into facing these juggernauts without worrying too much about losing 1 or 2 games.
Yep.
And that might actually put you more comfortable for the games and actually win them anyways.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wagi, you're Swedish, and Ace and Minots are both Swedish, I believe.
I'm not
No,
sure.
Ace
Ace is Danish, but you're half Danish. So
Perfect.
can you tell us anything about the 2 players? Because they're the 2 unknowns here.
I mean, Ace is not completely unknown,
No.
I would say. He has played for a long time. I don't really know him personally
like Teams is like
well enough
3D
to say
Max.
that much. Yeah, he played on 3D Max. He has played together with Link for a while, I believe. And I don't have that much that I can say about him other than that he seems fairly solid. I haven't seen anything completely amazing, but I also haven't seen any desperate lows from him. And as for Minots, I know he played Heroes of New Earth, but I don't know more than that. I have never seen him play, actually, so I look forward to this.
Okay, he actually played recently in the Captain's Draft tournament, where I believe Sunspan mostly was impressed by his name and tried to repeat it as often as possible.
I can well imagine that. He's a grown-up.
But that's the only impression I got from him then, because I mean it was the Captain's Draft, and I was mostly listening, not per se watching as I was doing all
Well,
the
at
stuff.
least he was very active in the game, right?
He was, because I heard his name a lot that game. This is true. I mean, that's good for support. If you can make a
want to
change.
be involved.
You want to be
want
involved.
to have my nuts involved into the team. See, it's so easy.
It's almost too easy.
It's so easy.
Well, we are gonna soon go into the game, so I just wanna know your predictions, because what was your prediction in the end, Waga?
My prediction, to be honest, I kind of feel that VP should take it. I mean, this is going up against a team that has been together for 4 days of practice. So VP, after losing 2-0 just now, I think they need to step it up and take it 2-0. And I'm gonna go with that they actually just put in the extra level here, because as you say, later on, there are going to be some really hard teams to claim wins against. And you don't want to be the bottom 2 in the end of this.
Okay, and I think Bruno had a 1-1.
1-1. Yeah.
Okay, other predictions?
I actually agree with the 1-1. It's going to be the honeymoon phase, and then it's just all downhill.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to win the first game, and
then just
they're going to win the first game and lose the second game.
Okay.
Lumi?
I'm with 2L VP, but I would love to be proven wrong with Alliance showing up some good strats, good play. But VP, probably more experienced, better team.
Period.
2-0 to Alliance. Easy money.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
So last but not least is my prediction. 1-1, I think.
Okay. Fence.
It's,
That's not even a prediction. That's
I'm-
like safe.
It's safe, but it's also exactly what Drasko says. But enough about that, actually. We're just going to go into the game because we're going to see what the teams are going to draft. Let's jump into the first game of the second series. It is Alliance versus Virtus Pro.
All right, so the only thing that we've learned is that if you don't really want to pick a side, you just listen to Bruno, because Bruno is like the Switzerland of Dota.
Whoa.
He never picks a side. He's just 1-1 no matter what the case. But
At least
will
I said
say-
1-1 like MVP last game.
Yeah, you did.
But if you give a 1-1, you have to give a pretty good reason and who's going to win which game and why.
Okay.
Right? So that's like the
yeah,
criteria
that's a
for
good
predicting
enough.
a 1-1.
That's not fencing it. That's a straight up prediction.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Alliance both games.
So Alliance actually takes out the Wisp, which we haven't seen pick or ban in the first series.
It still
And-
goes well with a lot of heroes that VP like to pick, though. And honestly, Wisp DP isn't even bad. Like, overcharge, damage reduction, and just having Tether. Like, you're 522, I think, with Tether, Max Witchcraft, and, like, Phase Yules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. You're really damn fast. So just trying to take away the synergy of what could potentially be a very tanky hero. And when you have Ogre Witch Doctor, I think it's one of those things where relocate ganks can be really scary for you. And just saying a DP, I think she fits into a lot of teams. Like, it doesn't have to just be a full-out push strategy anymore. So I think it's a good ban, either way. Yeah.
I would actually imagine it was VP that come into the match and banned the Wisp, because Alliance in the past has played a lot of Wisp, although I guess now with EGM not being here.
Yeah, it mixes it up a bit.
Yeah. But Batrider is going to be the reply here on VP.
I fulfilled a life's ambition in the Double Trouble tournament. I got to play while Motel was Wisp. He played Wisp to my hero.
Yeah, and I think you guys played against the Wisp.
Yep, I killed Sing Sing when he was Wisp.
Yes.
That was another great achievement.
You guys are charging in.
You've come so far, Ted.
I have. It's not like I had professional player telling me exactly what to do or anything. I had to do it all myself.
It helps. Being micromanaged
It
helps.
really does. Holy crap, does it. I wish I had that all the time. Just someone in my ear just telling me,
Do
don't
this, do
slam
this,
that
do
car
this."
door, idiot. Like that, that would be handy.
Too soon, Ted. Too soon.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. But I do want to point out, like, having Batrider DP together, it's basically like the pick and push, right? It's the one and done until you get a tower, basically. I mean, if you get one high value target, we don't know what they're going to be at on the side of Alliance because they've opened up with 2 supports, which is strong in its own way. But this is a composition that is basically just going for the gusto, right? You just go in, you find a pick, you get map control off of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your thought on opening up the draft with 2 supports? Because I find that a lot of times supports give you that. Like, for example, if you see Batrider, there's a lot of supports I could actually pick apart of Batrider. We've seen Rubik as instant telekinesis. We've seen Venge twice as a way to de-lasso. Wisp could do the same with his relocate. Heck, we even seen support next in the back just like spike Carapace, walk in, and then just stun the bat and deal with them that way. By picking up 2 supports, you kind of limit, and now you review the TIE Hunter, as we saw what VP did in game number 1.
Well, it's 2 ways of going about the draft, right? It's like VP have a game plan of we want to be able to fight and we want to be able to go for picks, get map control that way, which is strong because you're going into the game saying this is exactly what we want to do and we're not going to be deterred in any way. And Alliance are saying we're going to pick 2 really solid supports so our options are wide open to us. And even if we pick a support that might not hard counter whatever the other team is picking, at the very least we'll have options. So I think it's kind of something that you would almost kind of expect from a team that's not played together that long, is making sure that they don't open up a draft with like either an all-in style of strategy or
So
something.
hedging a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. You have Tide Hunter, Witch Doctor, Ogre. Their team fight is really strong. They have decent roam. They have very, very good lockdown against a team that's going to probably get 2 BKBs right now. Like Bat will get one as a 3rd or 4th item, and DP will probably get one as well. But I still feel like their draft is strong against VP.
All right, Skywrath Mage is going to be the reply here.
I mean, I think I like VP's heroes here, actually. They're kind of scary, lots of damage. I mean, Batrider, I think, is so strong at setting stuff up for you to go and do things. I mean, you get something with Bat and it's like a guaranteed tower with Death Prophet. I do think that's strong. But I also love all 3 Alliance heroes, like, especially now Invoker. They have a really strong 4, but I don't think VP's lineup is like weak. Like Skywrath Mage was like #1 pick for ages. It hasn't changed that much. I do like their lineup. I mean, Death Prophet, Batrider, Skywrath, those are all 3 really bannable heroes. They got them all.
Yep.
Yeah,
they definitely have a ton of burst now with the Mystic Flare being added to the initiation. Although I think Alliance can have some insane counter initiation, depending if Invoker is going for that Tornado build.
I think he'll go Exort. You kind of want to go Exort against DP. Like your Tornado EMP is kind of effective against a team, but it's triple int, right? So even though it's still going to burn quite a bit of mana, you probably still have mana for Lasso. You'll probably still be able to pop Exorcism and stuff like that. So I think Exort is really nice in the sense that up until now, Alliance have basically no method of pushing at all, and they would purely be playing defensive Dota, which in my opinion most of the time is losing Dota, unless you have a really, really hard carry. And we haven't seen what their one role is going to be yet, which is fine. We're probably going to see something like, I don't even know. I want to say like Void, but Void doesn't, he does synergize well actually with Exort, Invoker, and Witch Doctor.
How do you feel about VP running it back for a Lycan? This time in a safe lane.
Lycan's banned.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
First ban, in fact.
Yep.
Yes.
It's an easy mistake to make, Lumi. They're indicated here on the left with a line through them.
Oh, I see. Because normally X is what I...
You look for the X.
Yeah, there's
It's
no
all right.
X.
I've done that a ton of times.
Well, you like put a check or an X in a box, right? But if it's just like
A line
something
through.
random,
Yeah,
you just
fair
line
enough,
through.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. If that was a road
Semantics.
sign, if you were driving down the road and you saw a road sign with Lycan's face and a line through it, you'd know no Lycan's allowed down this road.
What if you're colorblind and you like think that's a green line? It's like suddenly
no green line ever
It
goes
wouldn't
across
matter.
It would be a green border of some kind.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't expect to see a line. A line.
I'm trying to talk my save.
No, no
Okay.
good. You're gonna try to talk your save. You'll never talk your save out of that one, my friend.
You hit the hammer on the nail. Brilliant.
You let dogs in your bed. Now you have to hammer them there with a nail.
Oh
and
my god.
Yeah.
This is not gonna stop, is it?
I just love it.
Yeah.
It's
pretty good.
It's a real new flavor on an old classic.
It's interesting to me that they actually decided to ban out the AM. Maybe I don't really think they should be that scared of getting redded, to be honest. Like, you could potentially have a Blink ES. Skywrath could even buy Blink to Silence. You're going to have Batrider. I would actually say, even though VP would have to commit a lot to kill the AM, you could definitely do it.
I mean, maybe if they're thinking about picking a hero that AM does well against, like Necrophos or Morphling, perhaps. So,
Yeah, Morphling would actually be fairly solid here.
you know what happened to Terrorblade? I feel like Terrorblade fits decently in both of these lineups.
I feel like Terrorblade is a hero that would basically play one farm 4 fight and push. It's not really a 4 protect one though, because I still feel like Alliance would try to prioritize him and try to kill him, because you could just sit like an Exort Invoker mid, pull creeps off the tower with Forged Spirits and delay for a pretty long time. You don't necessarily need like 4 heroes there to stop a push as long as the DP is not going in with exorcisms. So I feel like it could work, but at the same time, Witch Doctor Ogre, God, that would be a nightmare. That would just be so
Void.
scary, and yeah, it is going to be Void. So
I mean, Void Witch Doctor is a super strong combo. You got, not to mention the fact you got Ravage to help set everything up. Sunstrike on a Chronosphere as well. It's a pretty strong dank combo.
yeah,
And
I mean,
if you catch Skywrath and Death Prophet in the Chronosphere, he's just going to give him the punch down. It's pretty strong. What did VP respond with here?
and you kind of mentioned something I think similar to this earlier, Lumi, is like when you pick your supports first, sometimes you might get countered, but I would say in this case, picking the carry last
Yeah, true.
actually kind of counters what VP wanted to do a bit. Now, it's kind of a problem because if you initiate on the Faceless Void, you have to worry about Tidehunter, Witch Doctor stuns, Cold Snap if you're Batrider, and at the same time, it's like if you initiate on Tide, he can just crack in your lasso if you're dealing too much damage to him. Ideally, you want to be able to Skywrath silence the Tide and just leave him alone and kill somebody else, which is, I think, still going to be a little bit tall of an order. And the thing about Void, too, is he doesn't really need a ton of farm so long as the supports get decent levels. That's going to be the key. Like Tidehunter getting his levels, Witch Doctor and Ogre getting their levels, and Booker's obviously going to do fine because he's going to be mid up against a DP. I would say he's the one who, if anyone's going to get ganked, is likely to be focused here. ES Skywrath gank is actually still pretty strong, as long as the Skywrath is level 2. So that's something to be a little bit wary about.
Why is Invoker going to get farm against DP? Is that an easy matchup for him?
It's very easy to dodge Crypt Swarms. Like a lot of players, even like professional players, you kind of have to telegraph it, right? Like when you want to push out, you have to auto attack creeps to make sure that the wave's going to
so
actually
you know
push.
that he's going to...
So yeah, you just walk out of the way. And plus, eventually you're going to get Forged Spirits, and even if you kill the wave, he'll have the Forged Spirits out to tank the creeps, and he won't actually just get his tower destroyed immediately.
Yeah.
So unless they actually prioritize like killing him during the laning phase, I think both heroes will likely free farm. And in that case, I think that the Invoker actually will
You think he
pull ahead.
benefits more from that?
Yeah, because Death Prophet, she does need some farm, but she always gets farm because she can spam.
And she gets towers and stuff
Yeah.
too, right? So. Earth Spirit.
Ember Spirit.
Sorry, I mean Ember Spirit. I was reading Earth and then I read Spirit. Yeah.
It's a hero that doesn't necessarily have to commit to a fight. Very, I would say, kind of safe hero, and something that you also have to prioritize Sphere on if you want to make sure that you're going to kill him. I mean, outside of Blink Ravage, that's basically the only method of initiation that I would say would guarantee kill BZZ.
Yeah.
So I think it's really nice in the sense that now you'd have to think about, okay, well, now we have the DP, an Earthshaker can fissure from behind the sphere, and we have an Ember. So a lot of heroes that you want to really prioritize.
Yeah, it's actually made it. I think that if they didn't have the Ravage, it would be quite tricky for them. But I do think the Ravage gives them a nice get out of jail. Like, you can Chronosphere the Ember, then Tide Blinks maybe on the other side, Ravages the rest of the team. You can melt down the Ember in that time. But it's one of those combos where you think, well, actually, this requires a bit of coordination and a little bit of positioning and luck and everything. Whereas if you can rely on a combo that isn't quite so difficult, I think it makes it easier. VP's lineup seems to be pick off one guy and then push towers. Like, that seems to be it to me.
Yeah. I feel like the execution has to be really good. There's a lot of pressure on Zadoi, like Andy pointed out earlier. You have to either you go on Void and get Ravage, or you go on Invoker and get Chrono. It feels like there is just no good target unless someone is utterly exposed. So I'm not sure how VP is going to take the fights.
You okay, Andy?
Yeah, it's fine. I think I accidentally hit the power button on my mini monitor. Yeah,
so you're watching the cast through there. Yeah. Very smart.
Yep, preview screen.
Nice.
OP. It's because I'm actually so blind that the big preview screen over there, I can't even read their names.
Yeah, I squint too. I mean, I'm wearing the right prescription, but people don't understand. That's Aki, and there's my nuts. I can see my nuts clearly on screen, so...
And they're right behind Aki.
Yeah, right behind Aki. My nuts will follow him to the ends of the earth. I'm just reading his name.
I understand. So, matchups pretty much, I think, what we expected for the most part. Alliance kind of have the safety zone that is having a Faceless Void on your team. And if you get good spheres, the game will be very difficult for VP if it gets to the later stages. And it's also going to be one of those things where VP are going to have the late game of an Ember Spirit, which is also very tremendous in its own right, and being able to like Sleight of Fist once and kill an entire team. So both teams going to rely, I would say, probably on like the 10 to 20 minute mark, give or take, to really dictate the pace of the game. If VP can start getting some tier 1s, apply map pressure, I would say that they would be heavily advantaged. If they can get it to a point where Loda doesn't have, like, I would say Mask of Madness, Treads, Maelstrom, that's around the point where you start being really scared of the Void. If they can get the map control before then, I would say that they're going to be in good shape.
And do you think that late game, let's say equal farm, Void is better than Ember? Just because of the Chronosphere and he can do what he needs to?
It's hard to say because it's really all about the engagement, and we're going to see Zadoi. He's got 9 stacks here on Loda. It's pretty scary. He's going to get ignited, though, and be forced to walk away.
He might actually die here.
Okay, he's 10 stack.
He's pretty low.
Firefly, okay, Firefly still has a bit of duration.
Oh, my nut's eating his way through the trees.
God, I can't keep a straight face.
Oh, shot him. Going for the fissure block. Gets it. He's actually body blocking.
Just standing there.
That is nice.
Nicely done.
That is nice. I will have to remember to try to copy that. And, I mean, you know, it's possible.
I think he actually fissured hoping that it would block on its own and then realized that it didn't. And then just walked in there, which was a really cool heads-up play.
Very nice.
But, yeah, very nicely done by Jottam. And First Blood goes to VP. And it goes to the Ember Spirit, no less, which is, like, the hero that you really don't want to give First Blood to.
My nut's invisible here.
Did you just get out of a cold shower or something?
No.
Okay. Sorry. I'm going to stop now.
Trying to talk about the game, Andy.
I'm not going to go full
serious guy.
It's hard not to.
It's a funny name.
Yeah, middle lane is pretty much shaping up how we would expect. Both heroes on 10 CS. It's more or less going to be G pushing out the waves constantly. And there's going to be an invisible ogre here. G's going to be in some trouble. Cold Snap. Hani is tanking the creep wave, but there's no Crypt Storm mana.
There's the just in case. Missed. One more bonk. Ogre McGee picks it up. 1-1. I mean, Ogre's great at those kind of rotating ganks.
Well, the main thing is that the ward that's actually bottom lane doesn't see the rune at all. So they didn't know what rune it was. And an Invis and a Haste are probably the only two that I think would secure a kill on G in this particular game. Because it needs to be a rune where you get in range to stun without him being seen. And what is this?
Yo, try to backstab, but he's stuck in the trees without tangles.
He's dead.
Oh, wow. He's just going to get punched to death by a fish. At least it's a cage match.
That is like the epitome of unfortunate.
Yeah, giving a free kill to the off lane.
I mean, he had a ward there, so he saw him walk up the hill, but he didn't know exactly where he was. He just had some semblance of an idea.
That's boots for Tidehunter. So do you just, like Tidehunter Brown Boots, rush a blink, or do you get mana boots first?
I think it depends on the lane. A lot of times, I actually find myself...
Lane. Fissure block. Gonna be perfect. Hani's stuck there, and he's got trading right hits. He summons a Force Spirit, but... Oh, actually, he runs to the left. Easy Crypt Swarm. Max range.
Oh my god, he's
Lost
gonna...
regen is good enough. I think Hani just denies himself here, right?
One more.
Oh,
Uphill miss! Uphill miss!
Oh my god! And he's just gonna deny himself. Buys
Space
TP.
created.
Here comes a Fissure. Long Ranger.
Oh, but
the creeps aren't there.
The creeps are pulled.
Kill me, creeps.
Oh,
kill me,
concussive
creeps.
shots.
Oh, so unlucky.
Oh, the perfect stacking timing. What a play.
That was pretty foul.
He actually got hit too quickly. Like, he got hit by one of the creeps, and then the concussive shot hit him, which doesn't really do much damage at level 1. I think if he had been a little bit slower, actually, then he would have ended up getting the deny. But yeah, unfortunate. But at the same time, you could also argue that it was unfortunate that G missed his auto attack, because that would have killed him.
Yeah, true.
And then the Quas gave him enough regen to where he lived through the one that actually landed. Dota 2, man. What a game. I don't think I've ever seen that particular situation happen like one time.
Yeah.
Like uphill miss into attempted denial, which
into perfect creep stacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My net's gotta be careful here. Perfect fissure block. There you go. It is. He's now stuck there. My nuts are exposed.
It's not
dead now,
the
right?
first time.
Maybe not. Honey coming in with G-Strike, cold stacks here, Ace from the river. I think he has a gush, perhaps.
Is there a Ravage? Is there a Ravage?
No, it's
He's
minute
too fast.
5.
Oh, he's only level 3.
Yeah. It's 5 minutes in.
He got a kill.
Yeah, but he got a kill on a really low-level support.
DP is level 6.
DP's mid.
Yeah, but she's alone.
What? I'm so lost. I'm not even sure what you're trying to say anymore, Ted. She is alone, but she's also a ghost.
He's going to stack up these Ancients.
Is he gonna try to clear?
Look at that one creep.
What do you feel about the 1 value point to Gush? I think he might have actually leveled it up as he was trying to get a kill earlier. But
It's one of those things that you do when you feel like sitting in your lane isn't like maybe as viable, and you could potentially get a kill on a very squishy mid hero. Like snipers, death prophets, even evoker if it's exort and you don't have any points into Wex are all pretty gankable, I would say. So having a value point into Gush, especially with like exort damage and a Forge Spear and a cold snap, it could very easily just transition into a quick kill. So I think it's something that you should only really do if you're playing in like a competitive team environment where you know that you have some sense of cohesion and you can set up the ganks. Otherwise, just going like the Anchor Smash Kraken build is way more stable. Because even 1 point in the Gush, it's like that's half your mana pool basically gone. And ideally, you want to be able to Anchor Smash like 4 or 5 times if you want to even try to attempt like a stack or something like that. So it's like if you Gush, you got to go back to base unless you have Arcane Boots, which he does not.
we are experiencing packet loss.
Volvo, please.
Please.
Man, the servers have actually been not great lately.
You could put it that way, Andy. That's the polite way of putting it, I would say.
I mean, I was playing a couple of games on US West, or EU West, and one game was like perfect. Next game, 70% packet loss. And it just feels...
Is it because we have too many players on the server? Is that
I
how
heard it
works?
was actually like there were so many people playing that the servers were just like crushed. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
I would just question the fact that the number of unique players a month that it shows hasn't changed that much in a few months. What the hell is what? All of a sudden we're all changing.
I don't know.
You know, a couple of million people say, hey, let's all play at the same time now. I don't buy it, man. Something is up with the servers. It's fishy and they need to fix it. That's it.
That's it.
According
Ted
to
has spoken.
Shane, yesterday has had the highest amount of players online.
Yeah, but, but not by like... It's not like, for instance, if you take the Draenor launch, right? I believe they had 600,000 subs. Then Draenor comes out and they have 7.4 million subs. Something
No,
stupid
it
like
wasn't that drastic.
No, it was because a lot of people just weren't playing. They were like, oh, I'll sub when the thing
Maybe,
comes out.
Ted,
What?
that was the last straw that broke
Broke the internet?
the camel's back.
Okay, but...
Is that right?
That is good.
Damn,
straw
I
that
got
broke
it.
the
I got
camel's
it.
back.
Yeah.
That's actually, that's true.
But you said the last straw that broke the camel's back. Like, that's the last straw and the straw that broke the camel's back. They're both the same things.
It was redundancy.
You're compounding... Oh, here they're going again. Let's talk
So
about
maybe I hit one bird with two stones. Fuck.
2 birds with 1
Fuck.
stone. You'll get there, dude. It's fine.
English is hard. It's true.
Bear in mind, none of these sayings make a damn piece of sense, so don't worry about it.
It's fine.
No,
yeah.
2 birds with 1 stone.
2
makes
birds with 1
sense.
stone makes sense. It's a hell of a shot. Anyway, yeah, the servers are fucked up. You know, I don't know what it is. I'm sure they're working on it. I mean, geez, whenever they've had server trouble in the past, Valve have always fixed it like super fast. They've got like Zoid and guys like that that like fix. So it's clearly something is up.
Well, they don't do their own hosting, do they? I mean, obviously they have people who do it for them, so it's not necessary. I mean, they have to know, right? In the meantime, G, really nice defensive fissure right there.
There's the just in case is
Nice.
going to miss. One more punch.
The triple remnants.
The miss!
Oh my God almighty.
It's been returned! Justice has been served to Dota RNG gods.
BZZ came in with triple remnant and he cleaned up a Witch Doctor. Barely as well, but he made the TP as a safe lane. Probably going to miss like 4 kills. Is that TP even worth it?
I mean,
Okay.
I thought for sure he was dead.
You
Like,
mean
the Death
DP,
Prophet, yeah,
yeah.
you see the auto attack in the air, like
was a great
from
fissure.
downtown. It was like the fadeaway jump shot at the buzzer.
It was.
And it like hits the rim.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I hate everything. Oh, Ogre, gonna get a stun off here. Sidoi, get the Firefly, is gonna throw out a lasso. He only has enough mana for one more sticky, but it should be more than enough to get this
Oh,
kill.
the stick. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's really nice for Batrider to get the kill like that, because normally you assume the Bat doesn't do anything to the Blink. But being able to pick up that kill before the Blink, it's pretty nice.
Well, they didn't have any vision. Like, I think the only wards that are down right now are sentries on the side of Alliance. So their vision is definitely lacking, at least at this particular point in time.
Oh, wow. Hani, be careful.
So I do want to ask you, Andy, because I don't play Ember Spirit much, or at all.
Okay.
When you have a very decent start, his CS is off the charts, 51 and 28. With a lot of other heroes, you go like, I could get a Midas, I could go for a greedier build, but I've never really seen Ember Spirit going anything aside from Phase, Drums, Battle Fairy.
My personal opinion on Midas for Ember is that the whole point of hitting high level is not just to level your ulti, it's to be able to get max of your base skills, right? So Searing Chains, Sleight of Fist, Flame Guard. You want those abilities maxed even before you max your ult. Obviously, you get 1 point for the value, but you don't really need the levels that bad, and if you just want to get the highest level possible to make sure that your Sleight of Fist does like a decent amount of damage and has low cooldown, then you want a damage item. You don't want a Midas for attack speed because it doesn't do anything to the Sleight of Fist. You just want to hit hard. So it's like counterintuitive in a way.
My question isn't particularly about Midas, but more so on like, is there any alternative items since you could get them quicker, perhaps they're more effective? Like, can you just straight up rush a Battle Fairy, or do you want the drums for the raw health and mana and whatever
I think the drums are always solid, especially during early games like this, where you can just walk into a Tidehunter with Flame Guard. The thing is, you don't even have to attack the hero.
Yeah.
So BZZ is not drawing tower aggro right now. He's just waiting it out. The Creep Wave's going to die soon. He gets off of Searing Chains. Ace is not level 6. Sunstrike's coming down here. Will hit on BZZ. He might go down. He's going to be forced to sell. He's still dead.
He's dead.
Still dead.
Oh, man.
So that's... I mean, if he didn't have drums,
That was pretty
he would have died a lot sooner. Hani, in the meantime, getting caught out in the woods. Fissure's going to stun him for a little bit of time, and double TP reaction coming in from the side of Alliance. Going to hear a lasso go off onto Loda, but he does have Sphere after it wears off. Sidoi, he's in Firefly, but he's stuck. Hani has already died here. Loda's actually going to be trading his own life here to the Batrider. Sidoi going to be dropping soon after to Ake, and my nuts are in some serious trouble right now.
Yeah, your nuts
they
ran
are
up a
going
hill,
to die.
and they still
No,
died.
my nuts ran uphill.
No, it was my nuts.
They didn't run anywhere. They rolled uphill.
They kind of
too
lumbered
much.
up hills.
Too much.
Rolled.
Those are very tanky nuts.
If
but
you
it
can
was-
roll your nuts, something's going
But honestly,
wrong.
I thought that would go quite a bit better for Alliance. The problem was there was no real synergy and follow-up behind the sphere. So it's like Loda threw out a sphere. Sidoi got low, but he didn't die until Loda died, basically. So it was like a sphere down, you still get 3 kills, you're diving a tower, you lose 2 heroes, but I'd still say VP are happy with that.
I underestimated how much damage a level 1 DP ult did, but since he kind of just stood around the whole fight in trees,
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, I'll keep right-clicking people.
I think the other thing about what you were saying about Ember Spirit is that when you get those items on him, it works so well that it's kind of like, well, what else do I really, what else would you go? What else could you think of going that would be better than Phase Drums Battle Fury?
The thing about just going naked Battle Fury is that your HP and general stats are very low.
Yeah.
And the regen isn't enough to necessarily keep you in fighting shape. It's enough to farm, but it's not enough to fight with. And Sidoi, he's going to be getting caught here in the river. Look at it go, indeed.
Yep.
Sunstrike's even going to be there as Hani secures that. So
It's
that's
satisfying.
It just feels somewhat wrong that, like, you're very far ahead, but there's nothing greedier that you could go for. Apart
because
from
the
your
Ember
base
Spirit
build.
can still fight. That's the thing. It's like heroes like AM typically don't contribute until they have 2 items, whereas Ember can still contribute to teams with
So,
1.
like, imagine a gyrocopter that gets, like, I don't know, first blood, triple kill, gets like 1,000 extra gold.
Doesn't miss a creep hit for 10 minutes.
Right. Like, there's something he could get to make him more effective.
I mean, if you had a start that good, you would probably play it as greedy as possible, and you would go Midas on a Gyro. But you wouldn't go Midas on an Ember.
For Ember, for the reason that you explained.
Right.
Yeah.
So I feel as though he just offers too much to kind of leave him in that passivity role where you basically have, what do you buy first, a Perseverance? Do you buy like a Claymore? You doesn't even have Sleight of Fist. Yeah. Like, I just feel like the build-up doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, especially with BZZ being able to contribute so much on a hero like Ember.
Is it because, like, for the early ganks, the Flame Guard is really what's going to do it? Your Flame Guard just run in there, charge about, like he did to the title. It didn't work out, but it could have.
Yep. It's crazy. I mean, more or less, unless they dump everything on him, his Flame Guard's going to be doing serious work in the team fights. And it's just another target they have to focus.
My nuts, perhaps a little bit of trouble. The bat reveals himself to the tower. The gank will miss, but they're going to get a T1 tower out of this. Meanwhile, Alliance also spending a ton of time because Hani was standing behind Loda in the bottom lane trying to catch out Straggler. But it seems like Virtus.pro got the better of the two trades.
I think D's Nuts would have been a good name as well, as opposed to My Nuts.
That's
true. D's Nuts.
It's too gangsta.
It is.
What about your nuts?
My Nuts are pretty gangster anyway.
Jesus. All right. So...
What about...
It's really hard to follow those up.
That's stupid.
It's just like you make like a My Nuts joke, and then it's just silence, and everyone's like, how do I...
Cast dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so Ace actually has Ravage, which is good. Exorcism on the side of VP is the... Yep, DP is actually level 11 as well. So that means level 2 Exorcism is, what, base spirit-wise, like 3 times better than level 1? Yep, exactly 3 times, so... 8 more spirits. The damage output is completely insane. Also a really good deterrent for Sphere. I think we kind of failed to mention that if you actually Sphere a DP with her ult on...
That's a very good point.
It's spooky. Like, you take a lot of damage. If you actually go in and try to man fight, you're going to have to worry about Skywrath ulti, potentially a Fissure, and then you just die to Exorcism.
Yeah.
It's like someone's opened the Ark of the Covenant up in here.
Yeah, it's like no one really is going to be able to soak damage for you either, because the Tidehunter has to blink behind the Sphere, Ogre can't go in Sphere, and Witch Doctor has to be outside of it to channel ulti. So you're basically eating the entire Exorcism if you initiate on G.
You know, until... Oh, looks like we're going to see a little fight.
Ouchie.
Ace. Okay, he gets out of there. Until we see Tidehunter get that Blink Dagger, there is actually no initiation from Alliance. So VP could do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
I mean, apart from the Chrono, but you explain why jumping in and chronoing is such a dangerous thing for Loda to do.
I mean, he has to, but he has to hit, like, honestly,
like
at least 3. He has to catch G before he ultis, and My Nuts getting some Searing Chains here. Fissure to follow it up. Sunstrike going to land on BZZ, but he does pick up the kill on the Ogre.
This is looking like VP in control. Where do you see Alliance's comeback here? They just need the Void to get farm and the Invoker and kind of the Tide too.
I mean, that's the game plan, but VP are basically going through the motions right now. This is what we had expected from their composition, is just make sure that we get the tier 1s down. That's like the most important thing. They still have the safe lane to work on, but once that tower is dead, opens up Roshan opportunities. You have Batrider around Rosh, which is like phenomenal, being able to find a hero like that, so they should be able to secure it pretty quickly thereafter if they can get that last tier 1. But Ace is still very far from a Blink Dagger. So Alliance feeling like they have to smoke, yeah.
The thing is, this war saw them smoke. So Virtus.pro, I mean, they're very prepared, but the Chrono still goes on. BZZ's going to eat a Sunstrike. They are going to get 1 kill, but is that worth the Chrono?
I mean, I would say so.
On the Ember? Yeah, definitely.
Right, I mean, but when Ted said this needs to work, it needed to do more than that, I think.
But they need to kill him and now get an objective. That's what they need to do.
Right. Also, I think the most important thing is actually Ty clearing the stack. That is the thing. Unfortunately, taking Gush earlier makes him having 1 less point of Kraken Shell, and I don't think you can actually tank this big stack yet.
Yeah, 3 points is what you need to actually reduce the damage to 0, or very close to.
Right.
So you otherwise take way too much, and there are too many ancients.
What if Ogre McGee gives him a bit of the old bloodlust?
That doesn't really do much.
He could do a bit more punching.
I mean, honestly, you would imagine hitting somebody with a giant ship anchor would do a little bit more damage, but unfortunately, only 73, like numerical value of getting hit by a boat anchor, 73 damage.
Dang.
It grows stronger over time.
That's true. I mean, if it gets like rusty, you just get tetanus, right?
Yeah.
And then it just applies a dot, and then you gotta go to the doctor. I'm just saying.
You have to go back to the fountain, see the doctor, before you can carry on.
Yeah.
Or you get lockjaw. I think that's the side effect of...
yeah, it is.
Sounds unpleasant, I've got to say. If I'm gonna
Not
get
being able to open your mouth?
Yeah, or close it, depending. If you're in the middle of talking when it kicks in, you're walking around catching flies all day. They got a kill here.
Yeah, Sadoy, he's got Blink and Force. They're looking for Loda. There is no Sphere right now.
They could
Looks
catch
like
a
Sadoy
wizard.
is
The
actually
wizard
just
was
gonna go back.
catchable.
Yeah, but they only had 2. And I think they actually saw that there were more there.
I like to see VP actually go into this pit.
This stack.
Or
Here
that
we
pit.
go. If they could get this stack, that'd be huge.
Yeah, Ake getting chased down by BZZ. Ace ate an entire Mystic Flare there, but still not dead. Ake gonna die under the tier 2. Where is the rest of Alliance right now?
Oh,
Looks
nice
like they actually
ravage,
TP
one more
bottom
punch.
instead. BZZ.
Yes,
He actually
well
tries to go
played.
to a Remnant, but unable to.
And now My Nuts finds Yo and Jotum.
Oh, that was a smart stun right there.
Oh,
He's a
Sadoy.
dead man. He's a dead ogre.
You know, would you use Exorcism to clear this?
The tower?
No, the
No, the
stack.
ancient stack.
Oh,
I don't think they
hell
need
yes.
to, do they? It's all so low.
Oh yeah, it's a party over here.
Although
Why
they
are
have,
running
they have a really bad ancient killing team.
They are in
I mean,
trouble.
this is all.
Skywrath needs to be careful here. They actually think they're going to get it, actually.
Yeah, there you go. I pop
Oh,
Exorcism
wow.
for this.
Emergency exorcism.
Oh, but the Chrono's gonna be there. He's going to Sadoy. The
Oh my
Sunstrike's gonna
God.
come. The Fissure though, and the Spooky Ghost not doing enough damage. G running forward here, doing a ton of damage. Oh, the
That's
Bongo.
nice.
It is not the
The
place you want.
Yules, though.
Okay, he gets out of there.
They might just... No, they didn't get the Maledict off.
They're fine. They're fine. And the regen's going to come back in very soon. Here comes the Ember Spirit. He's going to pick up the Tie Under on the back line here. He chases a little bit more. Ake in a ton of trouble. Searing Chain coming off cooldown. Searing Chain and the rest of the Flying Remnant should actually get the kill. The Bongo, no bounce,
Yeah, when
no
there's a no
target,
bounce.
and Ake is dead.
Oh, he might not be the Flame Guard wore off here. Oh, just clipped him.
Bats.
Nice.
BCC still going for more. Fissure coming off cooldown soon. He could slight for the very last tick of damage. He slight dodges it. BZZ. He's diving tier 3s already this one.
That's nice.
Yep.
There's,
Honey,
there's your
not in
phase
this happy
drums
place.
doing work. Yeah, this isn't looking good for Alliance. They're
Getting
all
haunted
dead.
and burned to death.
There is still 3 big ancient creeps, but I guess that doesn't really matter when you just got team wiped.
VP wiping Alliance there, and they're still... You know what the funny thing is? They act the same when they're winning as they do when they're losing.
They don't
Which
say
is
anything.
Silent sort of coordination. I don't know how they do
Calculated.
it. Do it all with pings.
Telepathic, man. I called it.
I think they, or they communicate in a higher pitched tone than my old ears can hear.
What are you
I
saying?
mean,
He's
they've been
like,
shouting the whole game. It's just off the frequency for you.
Sure, fair enough.
so for VP, it's pretty much stick to the game plan, continue your aggression. Without Ravage and without Sphere, the capability of Alliance of killing anyone right now is fairly low. Honey's impact has not really been tremendous thus far, and a lot of that I think has to do with the fact that even though he's only died a handful of times, like once or twice, it's more just because he's only level 11, right, at 20 minutes in. Honestly, on an Invoker, you want to be higher level than this at this stage in the game. You want to be able to get like a decent meatball combo going. You want to be able to use your Forward Spears to push. You want to be working on Necro Book, but he's actually Ake going to be dying here.
Jesus.
They might even get a 2 for 0 special here.
Yeah, this is a...
The Ogre is going to be drawn back in with the lasso. Just going
It's
to
a
chase him
bug
down.
off. It's a bug off in the mid lane here.
Yeah, this warding is like really solid too from VP. Like there was one ward that just faded on the high ground about there. Yeah.
Yep.
And that was basically just allowing them to go in like repeatedly. And when you give a Bat Rider like freedom of vision, it's just game on, right? Like you just find openings and then you just transition into Roshan because all the tier 1s are dead.
And then the jungle gets farmed up by the Bat Rider. Virtus Pro have complete map dominance. I mean, we generally don't see Ember Spirit fight so early and so effective at fighting. But yeah, he's been doing a ton of
Ember is super legit early, man. I don't know why people think that he needs to farm like 3 Battle Furies before he can
He
contribute.
really doesn't.
The late game, the red numbers.
The thing is, if you fight, you get that stuff sooner.
True.
Like, I mean, you could just go and farm for 30 minutes, but I don't know. Like Andy says, when you're playing, especially if you're someone like a Witch Doctor, and a giant ball of flame shoots out of the woods at you and pins you in place with a burning bowler and then chops your head off. It's a legit strat, Lumi.
I agree.
Early punching.
Decapitation confirmed, legit strat here. on
Kappa
Dream
was
League.
totally detated.
What? That took me a second.
Wait, is he going for eggs?
Who is?
Honey? I think that's interesting.
Looks like it is.
I mean, ideally you want Ags at 17 because that's 4 levels of Invoke, and that's having your max Exort.
I mean, at this rate, he might get it when he goes to 17. No, the game's
The
not
wizard
going
is
well.
hiding from the flaming man.
I mean, he's 2 levels lower than the safe laner, and that's with him going Midas. Granted, he got the Midas after Treads. Again, like his levels are really the thing that's really important here.
He sees him, no. He does not.
He's just waiting for that smoke gang to come in, but does he know? Seems like he does. Too many people are missing off the map.
Yeah, he's like,
This is
I'm
actually,
suspicious.
yeah, it's a little bit suspicious, but I would say this is less obvious than most smoke ganks.
Because they could be doing Ancients together right now, these 4. But
Well,
jump, the chrono, oh miss! He jumps back in a panic moment, BCZ.
Oh, wow.
Well, he has 60 seconds to think about that.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
I don't think he saw that coming.
No.
You know what I bet
Oh.
happened is like he actually clicked and like too close to the other spirit.
Yeah.
Instead of just clicking back to the main one, because you go to the last spirit, right? No matter what. If you have 2 spirits out, you eat them both. You go to the one you click near, and he just didn't click far enough, and then he just went to the wrong one.
Wait, hold on. Can VP take Rax here? You take a tier 2 tower for free.
Do they have ghosts?
Yeah,
In
Ghost
4
is-
seconds?
in 4
Level
Yeah.
3
seconds.
exorcism and no sphere.
I mean, there is you're walking up high ground against Ravage,
yeah.
but still. you
I
have
would
Spooky
say it's
Ghost.
still kind of tough.
VP is really big.
It's got a
Yep.
heart. Jeez. I mean, I'm definitely gonna take a crack at it.
Yeah, screw it. I mean, here's what I would do. If Batrider can get someone and you kill him, then you can do it.
Oh, they're backing off because Alliance doing a smart thing, pressuring tier 2 as well. You know, Alliance playing really well. They got a tier 1, they got an Ember Spirit, and they essentially traded tier 2 when they're down on Chronosphere.
That's experience right there, I think.
Yeah, good shot calling going on right now here from Alliance. Like minimizing the damage, essentially. Because there's only a 1 tower lead right now for VP, which given their lineup, you would expect them to have a tower lead, more or less. They've been playing aggressive, they've been pushing the whole game. They now have their eyes set on the final tier 2. And I think Sphere should be up about the time that they would decide to kill this or go high ground. So it's about 20 seconds off. And that just means that, again, Alliance need both of their big ultis to fight right now. But if they win, like one team fight, and the Void gets a little bit more items, then I think suddenly you don't necessarily need to fight around Ravage and Sphere. And plus, once you get to level 16...
Invoker is very close to Ags as well. Can you just check
Yeah.
Void's items for me real quick? Sorry,
Void.
we're in the middle of a fight. It can wait.
BKB Mask of Madness is all he got. He doesn't have enough gold for buyback, and they're going to do a slow siege and play around the Aegis as well as Heart on G. And it looks like he's going to try to jump in, uses the BKB. They throw everything onto G.
That's nice.
But here's the thing, though. He does not have Exorcism on his way back. They need to Ravage him. Oh, but it cancels
that
everything.
cancel.
My nuts burned up right now, and they do repel them. I guess it looks like Virtus Pro is going to wait around for Exorcism, but it's going to be 2 minutes before they have it. Are they going to look for a pick? This particular high ground ward sees everything, so Virtus Pro's Batrider has not been able to actually get some key jumps.
That was a really nice flame break as well from Sadoy. That was like top 10 flame breaks, $1 million flame break. You know.
I think it's slightly preemptive Witch Doctor ult maybe invited it, teased it
Nah,
out.
you got to kill him.
Yeah.
You
This
just
is
you
a-
have to kill him.
Very awkward Aghanims on the Invoker, because he's got level 1 Invoke with Aghanims on.
The other thing is too is a lot of it could just be for the mana cost. Like he level 1 invoke I think costs 80 mana.
Yep.
If you
It's
don't
free
have
now.
Yeah. If you don't have it, but I mean the next couple of levels he's just going
Yeah.
to be putting points into invoke. So he's got 3 points. That means he can for one level put an extra point into like Wex or something, and then the next 3 he's just dumping right into invoke, and then he'll have it at 17. So I still think it'll work out okay. The biggest problem for him is since they're on defense right now, the majority of the team is kind of close proximity. He's having to share a lot of experience with other people, which is not what you want at all. And a lot of the reason why you buy Midas is to make sure that you can just stay ahead. That way, if you ever get into this spot, you're already like got your max invoke, you're using all your spells and things like that. But he has definitely not had the best game so far. He's still 3rd highest on net worth, highest on his team, which is good.
Yeah. Steals a little bit of Ties Ancients. Not bad, not bad. What's his next item?
Honestly, I still think like Necrobook is really good, just for giving you push potential. Hex is strong.
Hex
Like
would
being
be
able
good.
to hex the bat when he blinks in, being able to hex follow up on a no BKB Death Prophet. I still feel like that's a really solid choice as well.
I mean,
Oh, Sadoy.
they've got comeback potential here because they've got Void, haven't they? But it is going to be difficult for them.
I don't think Virtus Pro ideally would give them the time to make that comeback. They're going to try yet another push. I guess you go down the mid lane now, right? Like, Exorcism's back up. You got everything you need. No Aegis this time, but
That's the thing. I honestly think they can win a fight. I do think they can win a fight.
Well, the last fight, I think VP kind of had the luxury of just saying, okay, we'll sack G one time, and then after that, we'll just decide not to fight. But if you don't have an Aegis, then you just lose a hero for that long. It just means that unless you're sticking together on the side of VP to try to go for picks, you're not really going to have the same kind of map influence. So this push is more important for VP than the previous.
Oh, looks like Lasso is going to find somebody. Hani going to get, well, Chrono comes through, but unfortunately there is no Hani. He buys back, he Sunstrike, the Ravage going to come through on the back line. They're going to try to burst down G. Can he get off his Yules? No Yules this time. Death War on the high, they bring down Sedoya as well. BZZ out of mana as well, so he's jumping to the right. Jump, and he bashes. Bash number 1, he's going to jump back out. It looks like Titan's going to come in with a Gush. Jotham's got Fissure, and he's going to use it right there. Perfect block, and that should be it for the fight. Maybe they'll lose Jotham as well. Yeah, that's a pretty expensive buyback. Oh, actually, he's fine.
It's not really that expensive, though. Like
double damage, and off he goes.
You lost your range tracks, and you bought back on Hani. I mean, I think it would have been way worse if Loda was the one who had to buy back, because honestly, the later the game goes, the less reliant Loda is going to be on his team, basically. Yeah. Because he'll be able to kill like 2 or 3 heroes in a sphere, right? So the inevitability factor of a Void is extremely scary.
Oh, though, that is nice. That Axon Witch Doctor.
How did he even farm for that?
Because he's just... I mean, how many times has Aki died? He's just died like 6 times. He's died 5 times.
He's got 52 CS, which is actually fairly high for a support at this point.
I think, honestly, it's actually quite easy to farm lanes with the bongos. It's pretty safe. You can sort of chuck it and run.
Hey, man, I saw Total Biscuit do that. Double trouble.
Double trouble.
Throw bongos, get CS.
Yeah.
And his CS count twice over LDs.
Yeah. LD, I thought he was going to be better than he was, I'll be honest with you. I remember playing with him way back, and he seemed like a god to me. But no.
Maybe that's just how far you've come, Ted.
Maybe. Shout out to LD. My nuts heading bot here.
You can't use it to break the silence if it causes silence. At that point, you're just interrupting everything.
By the way, I think during that secondary push where they just made, if G had a plate mail there, he survives. He survives long enough to get off his Yules. Hani gets caught out in the time. That's a long death without buyback.
70 seconds.
I mean, they need that Sunstrike to kill G under the Chrono. They gotta either pick him now.
Yeah, but G's alone. The thing is, even if G doesn't die, he has to go all the way around the map to get to his team.
Oh, he'll get there. He's got
I think he'll be fine now with the Witch Doctor role. I don't think the Sunstrike is going to make such a big difference. I think that Witch Doctor role, they can get a 3-man Chronosphere. That is a wipe right there.
All right, well, they're coming in to attest to that. But Hani's out for a long, long time. Batrider's done his job. Found his initiation on Invoker twice now, right?
Yep.
One in the base earlier, one outside the base, and G is... Again, he needs to survive long enough to get off his Yules. Once he does, he is going to deal a ton more damage. Loda jumps in. BKB, there's a Yules preemptively. The Chrono's going to... Actually, no Chrono.
Nope.
Nothing.
There's
a Chrono. They find BZZ as well. He actually runs away. The Fissure's going to find 3. Echo Slam. They're going to get everybody. A kind of panic Ravage is going to come out, but everybody's already dead. Double buyback comes from the team. There's no time to channel a big Death Ward. And yeah, 2 buyback forced.
Oh, wow. That was perfect for VP. That really was. I could not have gone much better. Double buyback 2.
Where did it go wrong? Because they got 2-man Chrono on the course.
They have no damage.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like,
so no Hani,
Loda
no
went
damage.
in, he saw that there was like heart, almost BKB on G, and he's like, okay, 2800 HP, there's no way we're going to be able to burst this down fast enough. But he popped his BKB before he dropped his sphere. Like, you have to use them together. Otherwise, they're worthless on their own, basically. So he's like, okay, well, now that my BKB's worn off and I've sphered, I have to run out of the sphere, otherwise I'm going to get Skywrath ulted, and then I'm going to die.
It was he dodged the Skywrath ult, but then that nice Fissure blink into the Echo Slam as well, just so much damage.
Yeah. That was actually, I think, the first point in the game where I've seen like a just pure indecisiveness coming out of Alliance.
Yeah,
like,
it did look really indecisive.
How do we actually deal with this? And I mean, if you're going to deal with it, you kind of have to go all in, because even though they didn't lose their whole base, those kinds of fights are just like the last legs that you have to stand on, more or less. Like, they can't do that again. They had one opportunity to make something happen there, and unfortunately, Hani was dead during the base push, so they didn't have the Sunstrike follow-up or Meteor or anything like that. And a bit of indecisiveness hurt them a lot.
Yep. And I'm not sure whether Hani's going to have the same effectiveness that he has now, because Death Prophet just finished the BKB. So now, if he could activate that BKB before all of Invoker spells come down, then you're just simply relying on Void, which right now has, what, Maelstrom, Mask of Madness, and Bloodlust on top of that. Basically max attack speed, but he's just not hitting hard enough for Death Prophet to really care.
Yeah, I think the Death Prophet, though, only has 8 armor, so we have to keep that in mind, which means if Forge Spirits basically attack you, you basically have none.
Sure.
So there is some worry for physical damage, especially with The Witch Doctor ward? I mean, that's why they were able to kill him in the first place. It wasn't the Void's damage, because at that point he only had BKB, Mask of Madness Treads. It was the Witch Doctor ulti that annihilated G.
Yep.
So there is still some worry of being able to get bursted down. It's just a matter of how good the positioning play is. The BKB is probably close to 5 seconds, if not already on Loda, which is also kind of a worry. It basically means as soon as the sphere goes away... it's still 7, actually. That's not too bad.
Sadoy in perfect position to break smokes. And he'll break one right now. Immediate Firefly gaining vision. He's got Blink, and can he blink back out? He actually got hit by the Anchor Smash. Minut's getting focused. Minut's dead. And Sadoy on the right side, jumping back out. Hani is going to pick him up. Why are you laughing, Ted? And now it's Alliance on the retreat. Looks like they're not going to jump for it. But with spells being traded, Chrono and Ravage still available.
Just couldn't hold it.
Oh, man.
Literally
I'm
could
so
not hold it.
unprofessional. I'm sorry, dude.
It's all right, man. We were all
He knew what he
thinking
was saying. I still look at his face. It's too good.
We wanted to laugh with you.
It's too good.
Roshan was successfully repelled, though, for now.
For now. But I think they honestly could just go back in at any point.
I mean, they did lose Batrider, which is the
Well,
best.
the thing is, Alliance didn't actually use anything.
Yeah, they
there.
see Yo. Yeah, Yo's dead, right? Sunstrike Reno?
Yeah.
Blink Anchor.
Bonk.
Wow, Bash. First hit Bash. That was me playing Skywrath right there. Against every Void player ever.
Yeah.
Or anybody who buys a Basher.
Yeah. Nothing quite like the old first hit bash.
Yeah. So, for now, definitely Roshan defended. And they have a ward in the area now, so they'll know whenever VP decide to go back in. The real concern is, like, the middle lane's always pushing, which is very annoying, and that makes your bottom lane extremely unsafe. But I will say that this is probably one of the better points in terms of what vision Alliance has had the whole game. Like, they have vision of the river, they have vision of their forest and the top, so unless you're getting smoked, they're probably going to have some good sense of what's going to be coming their way, which is nice. Because even though they're a Rax down, Void can definitely come back from a 1 Rax.
Yeah.
Like, that's not enough to actually just beat a team
He
with a Void on
needs
it.
time. How long do you think he needs here to get what he needs to
Well, he
do
really
what
needs like a
to
pure
do?
damage item. Like, he needs another item on top of his Maelstrom Mask of Madness to just be able to fully
get?
commit to a hero. And it looks
Actually,
like the
Starless?
choice
Looks like
is
he's
Okay.
going to finish the Mjolnir
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether that's actually the best choice because isn't he pretty maxed out on attack speed? When you have Mask of Madness, Midas,
Well,
and
max attack
Bloodlust,
speed's like 500.
400. Is
No,
he
it's
actually
5, I
there?
think. Isn't it?
It's 400 plus your base 100 attack speed.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
I don't
he's
know.
pretty close now, right? Like 2 max, I imagine.
Yeah, and I would say with the BKB choice on G that the Mjolnir is not going to be quite as good as maybe he would like it. But if you just rely on, I guess, bash damage, then it's okay.
No. There needs to be a glyph where you
This
can...
exorcism
you
is
can
going to be
glyph
whipping
Roche.
out pretty soon.
Trying to delay it.
Here it comes.
Chrono, it only gets G. And he's
Oh,
dying
he's-
much faster. He has to run back out. He sees Yo first hit bash, but the Ghost, man,
my
it do so
lord.
much. Minus is dead.
Oh.
And BZC's on cleanup. That's
Oh, wow.
yeah, that ravages.
Gem down.
That's
This is a
actually
team
GG,
wipe.
Wizard
right?
dead. That's it.
That would be, I wouldn't be surprised, actually.
Well, ghosts are down, so maybe they don't hit towers that fast.
Well, I mean, I think they could just go and get another
I
lane
think
of
they got a
Rax
little
here and
excited that the Roshan died, but it didn't actually get the Aegis picked up right away.
Oh, so he wanted to steal.
yeah, he thought he might be able to go for a big play, and unfortunately it didn't quite work out. And we just saw pretty much what I was saying during the draft. It's like, if the DP is really farmed and you go in Sphere when ghosts are still on, the ghosts actually just kill you.
Eat you. Yeah.
Yeah. So
They get angry.
there was no real follow-up either. And I think if he had one more damage item, like a crit or something, maybe he would have been able to kill G before he died. But this is going to be the second set of racks here for VP. They still maintain their Aegis and a 16 kill advantage.
Since the Aghanim's picked up on the Witch Doctor, we haven't seen a good ult from Naka yet. I think that's really the reason why.
It's really difficult, man.
Yeah, it is.
You have
In this
Flame
particular
Break,
game.
silences, Searing
Fissure.
Chains, Fissures,
Yeah, the
silences
Fissure.
from the Skywrath, like Yules
I
even
think,
on G.
honestly, that's why I think that a BKB might have been a better shout rather than the Ags first. But because you got the Ags, it's like great.
Oh
but
my
you're never
lord,
going to
that
get the
damage.
chance.
I guess the other way to put it is that VP has been doing an excellent job killing the Witch Doctor before the ultimate kills them.
Here's the question I've got for you, Lumi. Would you rather have the chance to get an amazing ult, but not
I'm
like,
risk
basically
averse.
hardly ever?
Risk averse. I
Right,
get BKB.
so then you get the BKB. You can at least guarantee an ult, something for God's
But
sake.
here's the thing. That's what Merlini would call loser talk.
That's not loser talk.
Because
that's a smart call.
Here's the thing, though. Right now, in this very moment, I would say, great, I'll get the BKB. But 20 minutes ago, when you're trying to first spray up the item, you dream big.
But then you would look at the lineup and you'd say that all the. I mean, it's not like a secret. When Witch Doctor's ulting, he dances. He's like, it's easy to spot.
So you're saying, need some better foresight.
I say, if you're gonna go rush for the Ags, you're gonna suffer.
Okay, fair enough.
But then, hopefully, the chrono would set it up. But even then, Earthshaker just fishes you from downtown.
Here's the thing. If Loda gets a 5-man Chronos for it, they still win the fight.
Oh, God, yeah. But that's all you need. Just
that's
the
all
old
you need.
5-man chrono.
5-man Chrono. Let's go.
Lord.
You can't do it now because
the optimism from Lumi is actually staggering.
Well, I got to balance out the negativity here.
I'm not negative.
Being negative.
I'm not negative. I love everything.
Okay.
Happy man. Here comes Batman. He's going to come and get somebody. Easy. My nuts. Caught in a lasso. Meatball!
Okay,
nice
that's actually great initiation. They killed BGZ as well, but the Ghost Man on the back line, or the front line, actually.
Mega creeps him.
Yeah, everybody's running away. Ake does not have ultimate anymore.
Aegis. Still got 2 minutes left on that.
My
Tide
God.
goes down. My nuts covered in fire. That will go down. I can't say anything. It's so stupid.
Can't say anything, Ted 2014. GG's called. That was probably going to be Megas no matter what. So, very well played by VP. I mean, their draft kind of had that looming sense of, okay, we want to actually control the game by around 15 to 20 minutes. And that's more or less, I would say, what we saw. But big congratulations to them. This is, I would say, a needed win after the games they played against MVP a little bit earlier. And for Alliance, I don't think their draft was necessarily bad. I just think that when you give away like map control to a team with the Batrider, Skywrath, like it's too easy to get picked off. You kind of have to play together, more or less. And when you do that, you don't really get as much out of the map as the other team, and you just kind of slowly just get choked out.
Yeah,
Think we're going to see DP next game? We're going to see it banned out?
I think we're going to see it banned out.
I honestly think the Batrider was the biggest issue they had there. I mean, they did tend to have one hero. It's like, let's put him on his own and he can farm. And you can't do that around Batrider. Yeah. I mean, it's the worst feeling, knowing that he's like, he could be here, and then it's tough, like Andy said.
Yeah, I saw one pick off when Hani forced out the buyback. The other one to clean up on him the second time, and that really got the first racks and then the second.
Yeah, it's like when you're a man down, you could say it's always going to be easier to push in with a Death Prophet, but to be honest, any hero can still help push if you're fighting like an advantaged situation, like 4v5, 3v5, something like that. So I think the Batrider was actually more of a concern on the side of Alliance than maybe even the DP was, because you can deal with a DP. They showed that they had the coordination to actually be like, okay, that one base defense mid where they killed him when he had Aegis, they go in, they Sunstrike, they drop the Death Ward, his Exorcism is done, and they force VP back. Showed they can deal with a DP. That wasn't the problem for me.
Okay.
I have to say, you had on one side you had Ace on the Tidehunter, and they had Seedoy on the Batrider, and every time, or maybe even Jottam on the Earthshaker, like Ace didn't play bad on his Tidehunter, but he could not do so much. Like every time his Blink Dagger got interrupted, every time he couldn't go in for a Ravage because either it was a Fissure or Flame Break knocked him back. There was so much control, or rather preventing Alliance from initiating on Virtus.pro that they couldn't really do anything.
I think the flame breaks were really big.
They were.
Interrupting Witch Doctor, or like you said, cancelling Tide's Blink just long enough for everything else to come in and interrupt Void from going on your DP. Yeah, it was a tough game for Alliance. Yeah. I regret instantly claiming that they were going to win 2-0.
Well,
they still 1-1 it. I think they could 1-1 it if they pull it out the bag of Reno.
Well, I mean, I think they didn't play bad by any stretch. It's just like, a lot of the time, I think teams fall into this trap of we have to make sure that we're like maintaining consistent on our farm. We want to make sure that our heroes that need levels are getting levels. Like Hani was the one who was behind in levels for a really long time. And you kind of have to put yourself in danger to try to recover. It's just that VP were like on top of it all the time. They had great vision. The Batrider just cleaned up. I mean, to me, it was like Sedoy. That was the story of the game.
Yep.
He had some really, really good flame breaks, like for me as well. Yeah. And the Fissures. I mean, Earthshaker was like 4th pick, I believe.
Yes.
And by that time, Witch Doctor was already picked, and Tidehunter was already picked.
Yeah.
So they knew, like, okay, those Fissures just prevented basically Witch Doctor and Tide from actually performing their role properly. And it wasn't, like you said, it wasn't bad play from Alliance. It's just like I would say,
you could see like when they didn't have that, then things happen and they won fights.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was well played from them.
Like, I would almost say like outpicked. I mean, obviously you have to also play well to actually, execute. But overall, Like you've got this gigantic wombo combo potential on the side of Alliance, but they just never could pull it together because, well, apart from the Aegis kill, I guess. I mean,
yeah, that was a really good one.
Yeah, but then you're still having to deal with like you don't get anything off the back of it, and that was a
I'm
problem.
also wondering if like Aghanims was really the right choice. Like I still think the book would have been nice because it would have given you more potential to D-ward, which was really important because if you know that you're playing against the bat, vision is like if you don't have vision, the bat is not really that good. So you just D-ward with the book, and you don't even have to fight with it. It's just like, okay, we're going to maintain our side of the map, and then wait for Loda to actually start getting some items. So, I mean, when he got the Aghanims, what do you say was level 14?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Have we seen
He was
like a
level
flurry of
13.
spells coming out from
13.
Invoke?
He was level 13.
No.
Okay.
With
I mean,
one in
not in
Invoke.
that game.
He was
Yeah.
level 13 with 1 level in Invoke.
Yeah.
That's what he was at.
Yeah, I want to actually ask, which one of you was the one that actually said, like, when Sunsven was casting my nuts, he is very mature? Which one was it? Because,
That
you
was
know,
Ted.
That was actually
I didn't
Ted.
say anything of the sort. I don't know what
Oldest
you're
one
talking
here.
about.
I want to
talking about
just,
maturity.
you know, take a moment. It's like,
Look, it's on a plate, and I'm hungry. I'm going to eat the plate of nuts.
Brilliant.
Cashew or?
I like a
Pistachio.
cashew. I like a cashew, and I love a pistachio. But cashew, king of nuts. Come on.
All right.
okay, well, just wanted to put that out there because, you know, oh, well, I think you know. We're going to go into a short break because we have some sponsors that we'd like to thank, Aces and, of course, NVIDIA. Here's some commercials from them, I think.